Pokemon Legends Yay is a game with Pokemon in it. Hi, I'm Asta, and I've been playing the hell out of Pokemon Legends Yay, so much so that I've made some pretty poor financial decisions. I've played so much of this game that I know some of the most stupid information you could even imagine. This is your warning. Nothing in this video will be useful to know, and is a lot of, why do I even know this? If you're okay with that, then today I'm going to be sharing what we both know is the most important Pokemon information you could possibly know. Priceless pieces of knowledge that you couldn't live without. Go on, try! I like to see you try to live without knowing all this! You know, one thing I love about this city is all of the... What? Hey, come back here! As I was saying, the city has tons of little cute details all over the place. Stuff like the Pumpkaboo on the street lamps and the Pokemon on the bridges, the fountains of various Pokemon, and even the Wild Zones themselves. If you look at Wild Zone 16 from a certain angle, you can almost see that it's shaped like a Lotad. It's a little hard to see in game, but the official concept art shows it clearly. They clearly do care a lot about the designs of everything, even if I just lied. Something I'm wondering though, there's all of this Pokemon decor and statues and such, but a lot of these Pokemon actually aren't in the game at all, which is not something I think they normally do. At least not to this degree normally. So I was curious, I took a walk around every single inch of the city, and now I have a wanted list of every Pokemon that's in Lumiose City, but actually isn't supposed to be here. And even if some of them are in the game now. I started making this video before the DLC release, so you'll just have to see an extra counter here for the Pokemon that were added in the DLC. Starting from the very beginning of the game, inside the train station we're never able to come back to, there's posters of the Pokemon Fungus, Amogus, Shroomish, Breloom, Paras, Parasect, Herdier, Swanna, Ducklet, and an energy drink designed after Loudred. Continuing on a little bit, there are billboards that show Herdier, Smeargle, Galarian Zigzagoon, and Thievul. There's also this satellite thing on the top, which I think looks like a Rotom. Speaking of Rotom, this is the first game where we have a Rotom phone or something like it, and Rotom themselves is not in the game, which is honestly the strangest one I'm going to list here, because most of these things are statues or advertisements, but there's a whole living breathing Rotom in this phone. But if it makes it any better, Rotom was eventually added in the DLC. Like that makes it any more acceptable, I guess. I don't know. The information kiosks strewn about Lumiose City are littered with posters as well. Some of them, of course, hide some secret Pokemon not supposed to be here. Hitmonchan, Hariyama, Primeape, Sock, a watch shaped like Magnemite. Yeah, sorry, we're gonna have to confiscate that before you enter. And not a Pokemon, but one of them shows the gym leader Valerie. And well, she's also not in the game, so here's your stupid, dumb fact. The last poster I found while just aimlessly wandering around was this random poster of Popplio. See, there was a Alolan representation in this game. Moving away from advertisements, we have not advertisements. Oh thank god, I thought they were making a sequel. As I mentioned before, there's a bunch of statues everywhere. The Rust Syndicate seems to have the highest volume of illegal Pokemon. Right outside we can see King Gambit, Weezing, and Krogunk. Stepping right in, you can see Hisui and Sneasel specifically. It has some of the goopy poison pattern on it that normal Sneasel lacks, so this one's Hisuian. Another King Gambit, I hope they don't mind me being in here. 2 Overcoat vases, and that's just a Bronzor. Like, that literally is just a Bronzor on a shelf. Why are we keeping a whole ass Bronzor as a decoration? Somebody's gotta save this thing. There isn't many more statues in the game featuring missing Pokemon, and that's because I only found one more, being this random shelter fountain at the schoolyard. I mean, you can't catch it, but can you do this with normal shelter? I didn't think so. Only a little bit more on the wanted list, our next stop is going to be at the museum. You see, these Pokemon may have been allowed once, but nuh-uh, not anymore. Is that a Mew? I'm sorry, we can't showcase any of this anymore. We can't showcase any of this. Of course, there's many more violations than just Mew. There are other paintings showing Golurk, Palpitoad, Oshawott, Uxie, Serena, Cacturne, and the entire Gothitelle, Mightyena, and Poltegeist line. as well as both types of unpheasant, a gossifleur, and a really tiny hidden ice cube. And if you want to count it, this ambiguous monkey, the new Paradox Pokemon they forgot to introduce in Scarlet and Violet. Sorry. Upstairs, of course, is the entire Hisuian exhibit. There's the giant statues of Dialga and Palkia, and between them is the huge stone hieroglyph showing every legendary and mythical Pokemon from Gen 4, minus Thione. There's like a missing slot here, they could have just put it. It of course also shows off every Noble and Ride Pokemon from Legends Arceus. One last thing for the museum, some of Lavington's sketches show Starly, Kricketot, Shinx, and Cherim. Wow, I didn't realize how big of a list this was gonna be. Let's just speed through the rest of Lumiose. On this bridge, there's a bunch of Solrock and Lunatone all over it, as well as on this sweater, which is also the same for Alolan Muck, Beware, a little Love Disc, Cacnea, and Cacturn on some socks, as well as a few designs I think are supposed to be Sigalith and Xatu. There's also a little hidden shirt for Yamper, some overalls with Weavile on it, and a couple items that I wouldn't have thought were Pokemon, but the game outright says they are, so we have Girafarig and Liepard. Oh, and of course, we can't forget my favorite Pokemon, FOO. This must mean we're one step closer to the best Pokemon ever, Giant Lady, coming back. There's also the whole designer brand, which is meant to be Boltund. With all of this, don't I look so fashionable now? I'm f***ing dripping, dude. Dripping with oil. Finally, some tiny things. If you barge into this man's house, you can see a painting of Lavington. But who cares about him? We're here to see the Noctowl on top. Holy sh! Inside the Pokemon Center, there's magazines of some of the previous regions, being Sinnoh, Paldea, and Galar, which I guess is a whole interesting thing on its own. But on the Galar magazine, you can just barely make out that there's Stonejourners walking on the little hill. And finally, the last hidden Pokemon that I found. If you come outside the Quasartico building, there's a bunch of palm trees, and these palm trees are shaped exactly like a Alolan Executor. If only I could catch this one. Doesn't it look so happy? This means that there's a total of 72 Pokemon found in Lumiose that are actually not obtainable at all, and only 12 of them that eventually became available after the DLC release. I don't really know any other modern Pokemon game that has this many not obtainable Pokemon represented in some way. This must be just a Legends EA quirk, you know, because it doesn't have enough of those already. Let's take a break from all that city decor. What is the first thing anybody sees right when they enter Lumiose City? That's right, a 2.5 minute long unskippable ad.
Nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday.
But at the start of the ad, I think I heard something. Something you might not even know about unless you've played a certain game called Pokemon X and Y. The sound that plays right at the beginning of the video is actually the sound that plays when selecting a file in Pokemon X and Y. It's a little tiny detail, but as someone that replayed X and Y before ZA came out, I heard this and was like, huh, that sounds familiar, but I don't know where the hell it's from. I guess you could say this parallels starting the game in X and Y to the starting the game with ZA or something along those lines. Here's more of that ad for you.
We've got millions of free Pokemon.
What I really wanted to look at though is these manhole covers. You know, just like a completely normal activity somebody does. Now some of them are just basic Pokeballs, but each district has a unique manhole design of a Pokemon matching the district color. The Vert district has Go-Go, the Juan district has Halucha, the Rogue district has Pyroar, the Blue district has Greninja, and the Magenta district has Aegislash. These are all really cute on their own, but they actually reference the real manhole covers of Pokemon that exist in Japan. There's a ton of them, and they just seem to keep making more of them, so much so that they've translated into the games as well. There's even one of these manhole covers in the previous game. Wait, does that mean I have to play... Oh. Over in Kitakami, there's one of these manhole covers for Milotic. Okay, I think that was enough. I don't want to play this anymore. Since we're talking about decor again, here's the best part about all of these dumb thing videos that I'm not going to call the stupid dumb stupid things. Absolutely meaningless details that add literally nothing. I'm so serious. Every building in the game has the same type of rooftop, basic roofs with tiles and stuff. Well, how about this one roof near the starting area that has a unique roof texture just for it? Yeah, this is my f***ing shit right here. This roof is metallic. They definitely made this building special for the entrance area. I mean, it's extremely obvious because the entrance area has the most detail out of any part of the game. Almost like it was to give a good first impression of the game for all the trailers and such, but you know, whatever. They should have shown this. What type of impression am I supposed to get from this? You want to know my favorite detail in the entrance area though? Whatever the hell this hole in the wall is, I couldn't find another little wall crevice like this anywhere else in the game, just right here. Like, what are you supposed to do with this thing? Put a drink on it? Oh, I know just the thing to put here. Hey, do you remember those manhole covers we were talking about? I hope so, it was like barely 2 minutes ago. There was like 6 variants in the game. Well, what if I told you there was a secret bonus variant? Over near Wild Zone 8, there's manhole covers for Halucha. Are you taking notes? You should be able to find out where we are based on the manhole covers. However, this manhole in particular has a secret ability that none of the other manholes have. It has the ability to float off the ground. It's floating so high that I can see that the sewer system is not real at all. I have no idea where the hell this is. It's honestly so stupid. Like, literally just fast travel to Wild Zone 8 and it's right in front of you. You can pose with it, stand around it, take pictures of it, watch it absorb your shoes, let your Pokemon have fun with it. This is the best tourist attraction in all of Lumiose City. Moving away from decor, another sound detail in the game is that the cry for Floette and Eternal Flower Floette are actually different. Eternal Flower Floette sounds a little more poppy and jagged, while the normal cry sounds softer overall. Little theory head for a second, I like to think that this may be because of how ancient AZ's Floette actually is. Maybe it's some sort of 3,000-year-old Floette dialect, or something like that. In any case, this was actually the case all the way back in X and Y, but I'd guess most people didn't actually know about that, because Eternal Flower Floette historically never released, like, in any shape or form, despite being completely finished and usable, with an entire signature move being Light of Ruin, which, yes, is the same move Floette uses in ZA. This Pokemon went completely unused in X, Y, Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, Sun, Moon, and the Ultra games. My little extra baby theory is that AZ was most likely going to have a battle at some point where he used Floette, but there's no data to really suggest that. However, that totally didn't stop 14-year-old me from hacking in an Eternal Flower Floette anyways. I then proceeded to forget I ever did that, transfer my entire Pokemon bank to Home, and find out that Eternal Flower Floette was supported by Home with a full 3D model and everything. I would love to show you what this actually looks like in action, but that Floette eventually turned into an egg. At least now I'm the proud owner of the only egg in Pokemon Home. Anyways, I brought all this stuff up because they gave Floette a Mega in this game. And of course, Megas are always given unique cries based around the Pokemon's normal cry. The cries are probably my favorite part of the Megas for some reason. They just sound so powerful and awesome, even if the ZA ones sound a little odd. Well, since I listened to all of these about 3 million times, what if I told you they gave Mega Floette the wrong cry? It's exactly what you think it's gonna be. Mega Floette's cry is using normal Floette's cry as a base, instead of the actual unique cry they gave to Eternal Flower Floette. It might be a little subtle, but you can definitely tell that this is the case. I hope you all enjoy knowing this. I really doubt they'll ever fix this, to be honest, because they never do anything like that. Since we're talking about Megas still, you know that the only Pokemon that got a Mega Evolution that went on to get a regional form was Slowbro? I realized this a few years ago, and I always wondered, one day they're gonna bring back Mega Evolution, and they're gonna have to give a Mega to Galarian Slowbro, right? Because like, what would happen if Galarian Slowbro holds a Slowbro Knight? Unfortunately though, my dreams have been tarnished, as Slowbro Knight is the only Mega Stone that goes out of its way to explicitly state that it cannot be used with Galarian Slowbro. It's a sad day for the one person in the world, being me, that wanted Mega Galarian Slowbro to happen. They put it in the game and everything, man. This was your one chance. This, as you can imagine, is also the fate for Mega Alolan Raichu, although this time they don't mention anything about Alolan Raichu in the descriptions, but it definitely still doesn't work. I tried. Maybe one day we'll see a Mega for a regional form, but I guess that won't be anytime soon. Lastly is something about the DLC that went right under our noses the entire time. So the DLC introduced several new Megas into the game. We of course knew very little about any of them before the DLC actually released. But right in plain sight was one of the DLC Megas in the game the entire time. If we head over to the sushi restaurant, some players might have seen these platters of sushi and might have just thought, yeah, these are little cute Tatsugiri references, as Tatsugiri wasn't actually in the game at the time. However, knowing what we know now, these platters are actually shaped exactly like Mega Tatsugiri. Right down to the Mega-shaped platter and the green little dividers. It's like literally 1-to-1. I'm surprised I didn't see more people talking about this after the DLC released. Game Freak likes to do this sometimes where they hint upcoming content in weird ways. This was definitely one of those times. It's just a little crazy to me that this was in the game from the beginning. Well, that's all the stuff that I got. Although the DLC did come out while I was making this, it really didn't add all that much for me to go over. Anyways, I've got a bunch more Pokemon videos I'm planning on making and some other stuff too. So this is that part of the video where you mentioned subscribing and to destroy the shit out of the button or something. Or you don't have to, I don't really control your decisions. Either way, do you mind watching my little creature for me? That would be perfect, thanks. You both stay here and I'll pick them up later, okay? See ya!